La 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 la.
Okay. Hey guys, my name's Alyssa. Hey y'all. So, I wanted to celebrate with a little blog video about it's my 7-year health anniversary this month. And I just wanted to tell y'all a little bit more about that and maybe help others with a little information that could help them reach this place. So, um, I'll start with like a brief beginning from like 7 years ago, or just go on into kind of what I wanted to say. I guess I'll do that. So 7 years ago, let's see, I was hospitalized. It was 2010. I had been living with Crohn's disease for 8 years, and things just weren't working. The medicine wasn't working. I would get better and worse, and eventually I would end up in the hospital. That was in 2010 when I was hospitalized, and I had to have a bowel resection and a colostomy for a couple of months. And at the time, and to y'all, that probably sounds scary. And I, express, deep sympathy or empathy with anyone struggling with inflammatory bowel disease, who's going through some of those struggles right now. But now I really personally have found my solution to my Crohn's symptoms, and it's not really, it doesn't control me or cause symptoms anymore, and I've come to terms with it, and it's actually helped me just, it's been the inspiration for some other cool stuff that I've got going on for my career. It's taught me a lot about myself, and now that I'm healthy, I'm sort of grateful for all the trials I've been through and the health that I have now and have had for the past 7 years. So, I was hospitalized. I had a bowel perforation. That's why I needed those procedures. After hospitalization, I was really, upset about how my life was going, being in that disease state. I actually at the time prayed a lot, about this condition and what I could do to keep myself from being hospitalized again. I was always told it's not going to get much better, and there's going to be multiple resections in your life probably, and maybe even a permanent colostomy one day. So I was just determined to try to self-help, and I started researching diet because that was the only thing that anybody had ever mentioned to me, like, hey, why don't you change your diet? And I just want to put a disclaimer in there that I know to a lot of people, they hate hearing that, when you have IBDs. And I don't want my case to, be a reason, be something that someone can use to, like, guilt trip someone with IBD, who isn't on a diet and things. I do believe that inflammatory bowel diseases are very complex from what I've learned. Different people have different food sensitivities. Different people have maybe even a different reason for the symptoms, a different trigger for Crohn's, UC, and celiac symptoms. So, sometimes things just don't work. Now, however, I want to say that the diet that I am on, I believe that everyone should try. I was always told by my doctor that diet wouldn't help me and to eat whatever you feel like or whatever doesn't bother you. But that's way too general, and that kind of advice doesn't help anyone either. And anyway, I think you'll understand once I share more about my diet. So anyway, I changed my diet after doing some online research, and what I came up with was the specific carbohydrate diet. It was written by or created by Elaine Gottschall, and before that was Dr. Haas contributed to that diet. It had helped a lot of people. Elaine was a mother of a child with this IBD and wanted better for her, went back to school and researched why this diet helps people. And again, that's a specific carbohydrate diet, and the book that she wrote about this in is called Breaking the Vicious Cycle. And I'm very grateful for Elaine Gottschall if her daughter sees this video. But I decided to go for it. And one of the things the book talked about was 100% adherence. Like, you cannot cheat. But saying that, I want to explain the reason for that. I want to talk about the specific carbohydrate diet because it's actually a very healthy diet. Since I've been on this, I eat healthier than I ever would have on the standard American diet. I am grain-free, and some nutritionists will, be afraid of, cutting out a complete food group like that. But it was beneficial for me, and I eat more nuts now than I ever did, full of like healthy fats, protein, fiber. My diet is much more fiber rich, protein rich, and just well balanced than the standard American diet. Because of this, I don't eat any refined grains, any refined white flour. Everything's made with nutritious flour ingredients, crushed almonds, which is almond flour, coconut flour, etc. But anyway, the reason that I need to talk about this a little bit more is because I often hear people say that, diet won't help me. A doctor told me that, and I just going to take that at face value, and I'm not going to try anything. Well, I understand that food sensitivities are different, and some things that are allowed on this diet I can't have, like grapes and watermelon. But I say that because at the beginning of the diet, you're given kind of an elimination diet. You're started out on a very basic diet for like a week or less. It's actually less. It's just a few days. And then you add in one food at a time slowly and see if anything on the diet causes you distress. Now, it's not just about that. That's just one part of it. That's, to combat the thing about different people, different food sensitivities. What I've learned about myself over these 7 years, because I've been off and on this diet, and I've read several theories, and I've found the one that makes complete sense to me. We don't know why it started. We know when. We don't know how. So anyway, what's going on is my immune system, and for a lot of people, my immune system is not controlling the yeast and bacteria and certain harmful microbes in my gut, and maybe even not controlling where the bacteria and fungi is located. So for a normal person, I guess their immune system controls that, and they, can eat almost whatever they want to until they're 40 or 50. That's a different rant. But, if you eat unhealthy, even if you don't get something else, you may end up with another genetically predisposed condition like cardiovascular disease. But anyway, where was I? My immune system won't control bacteria appropriately. And my body slowly starts getting symptoms if I eat any complex sugars. Like complex sugars, not allowed on this diet, and complex foods are grains, starches like potatoes, sugar, sucrose. I can have glucose and fructose in honey and fruit, but that's it. So I eat fruit, vegetables, meat, and nuts. Anything else I pretty much don't eat. But there's several protocols for making beans appropriate and digestible for this diet that you can read about in the book. And there's just some other things. You have to read the book if you want a chance at this working for you. And you have to be strict, because these bugs, this bacteria and fungi that cause me so much problems, they're resilient, and even if you cheat, you're gonna have symptoms, even if it's only like 5% of the time. So I consider myself about 95% adherent to this diet. I only eat, whole foods and foods made from whole foods recipes, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'll have that saccharin packet with a little maltodextrin in it, and you can't have maltodextrin, or, and it's very rarely. I don't use artificial sweeteners a lot or anything, but saccharin is one that's allowed on the diet. If any, I don't think anything else is that's an artificial sweetener. But, I'll have something like maltodextrin. Sometimes it just happens to be one tiny ingredient in something. Or I'll eat some of the other healthy food that I make for other people, like flax. And flax can feed those bacteria. And anyway, the more complex sugar or sugar I eat, the worse my symptoms. But basically, I have some IBS type symptoms when I eat these sugars. And it can last for a few days, and it can completely go away when I get back on my diet. So my diet starves that bacteria and yeast, keeps my body from digesting in a fermentation type way, minimizes gas and bloating. And so anyway, the main point I want to make about that is that this isn't about food sensitivities. You can figure those out too, but this is about controlling harmful microbes and creating a balanced gut flora that doesn't cause the harm that would otherwise happen if you have the same issue as me. But like I said, you have to 100% adhere to this. Now, for 2 whole years I did. That was from 2010 to 2012. I think that I was able to eat some sugar more so after that than I do now. Now, like I said, if I'm not 100%, adherent to the diet, then I have some symptoms. Whereas I think I was able to cheat a little bit after that 2 years without such. But eventually that caught up to me, and I'm back on like 95% to 98% diet, SED diet. But I understand it's really hard, and it's new information, and we need more research to see how often this works for people. Just to research a number of things. But I wanted to say, if you're interested in looking this up for yourself, Seattle Children's Hospital has done research on the specific carbohydrate diet, and they're starting to advocate it, especially in children. I think one of the things that helped me is that I started this diet, sooner rather than later. But I think anyone should try it, no matter how long you've had the disease and how severe it's been. That changes with how many bowel resections you've had, because that changes what you can digest on another level. But I hope this can help a lot of kids. I empathize with everyone with IBD, no matter the age group. Like I said, I know it's hard to be on a diet that no one else is on, seemingly. There's a lot of online communities like Facebook, groups that a lot of people who talk about their struggles or their successes with the diet, they're worth looking into. Another one, if SED is not working for you, is GAPS, the Gut and Psychology Syndrome diet. And it might be a little bit more strict than SED, but it's also worth a shot. So anyway, I hope that y'all will check that out if you have IBD. And I just want to say again that, you know, please don't pester, you know, someone who suffers. I know we all care for someone, especially if they're sick with something like IBD, and we're trying to help them by promoting diet. But it's tough. Like, even though I have this solution, I have to work harder on my health than, you know, the typical person does, than anyone around me does. And that gets a little lonely sometimes. And, you know, you might have ups and downs, and, you know, sometimes you want to quit, but at the end of the day, I mean, you'll feel better. But what I'm trying to say to those who are caregivers right now, and family and friends, is, you know, people can only change when they want to change. And this isn't going to work for everyone. And, I don't know, you have to have certain resources to do this too. And probably a supportive physician. A lot of people, you know, really desire that. And that's also something hard to come by. Like I said, this can be a really lonely journey. Now, with all that being said, I want to talk about more that this is my 7th year health anniversary. So, yeah, this month, 7 years ago, got out of the hospital, started my diet, and I've never been healthier. Within a year, I was healthier than I'd ever been, glowing, gaining weight, healthy weight. My hair grew back, just beautiful and thick, and right now it's kind of a little in shambles, but I promise you that it was a whole lot thinner than this before I got on this diet. I'd suffered for 8 years, so it was like a miracle to me to be healthy again. And I was seeing my GI. I was on Remicade my first year, and while I was on this diet, and talked to my doctor, and I was like, can we wean me off Remicade? And he was like, you know, I think you're doing great, and this is the only thing that's been working, because we had tried Remicade, you know, prior to the surgery, and it wasn't helping me, though I wasn't on it long before the surgery. But anyway, the doctor agreed with me, and he let me come off the diet. I mean, he didn't scoff. He was fine. But anyway, so he let me off the diet, or he let me off the Remicade, and I continued my diet for a whole another year, 100% strict. Anyway, I continued to stay healthy. I continued to gain weight. In 2012, I started working out, and from 2010 till now, I've just become a nutrition, health nut, self-help and health study person. I love to read about nutrition and read about what foods are beneficial and what foods aren't. And really, I love learning about how to take care of myself now. And I think it's because of all the benefits that I've seen. And, I've learned in school that 80% of chronic disease can be prevented or, reversed with diet change. And anyway, I like I said, it's something like this is worth a shot, whether or not it ends up being the answer. For most people, it may be. But anyway, I want to say that because of Crohn's disease, because of my health turnaround, because I stick to this diet, I'm able to have more freedom and life than I ever had. I'm not, stuck scheduling doctor's appointments all the time and planning medications. And I was on like 8 medications at one time, or 8 pills, that included some vitamins recommended by my doctor and things. And I don't have to do that anymore. I was on infusions that took hours to infuse in the hospital, immunosuppressants like Remicade. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Annually I'll get my blood checked just to look at inflammatory markers. And we've been good. No inflammatory markers. Used to my sed rate level, which if you have IBD, you'll know these are familiar terms. Your sed rate level and your C-reactive protein level. I would have really high, have extremely high, I can't remember the exact value, but sed rate levels, and no more sed rate level, they're normal and such. But the freedom, I'm not worried about like where I'm going to get cramps, where I'm going to have to, find comfort at school or anything. I don't have to worry about, taking care of myself in any other way outside the home. As far like I'm free. Like my Crohn's doesn't control me anymore. I am well, and I hope that I'm going to be healthier than I ever would have been even without this disease, because I'm hoping that I'm going to work to prevent cardiovascular disease and other things. Can tell you a little bit more about that and things too, but I just want to express that I'm free, and I have a strict diet, but if you're determined, you can do anything, and you can choose your outlook on life. I would much rather be on a diet than be in the hospital or taking infusions or medications. A healthy diet that's gonna maybe prolong a great quality of life for me in the future. It makes me, just really grateful for my health and appreciative and aware of what it's like to not have it. I want to say, that when I go out to restaurants, I order the safest thing on the menu. I asked for no seasonings when I'm 100% strict. I don't recommend eating out a lot, though, for cross-contamination reasons. But especially for the first 2 years, I hardly ever ate out. But, I get a burger without a bun and that sort of thing. And I've always done that. And now, 7 years later, to me, that's just what a burger is. That's one thing I don't miss at all. Like, when I order a burger, I forget to order it without a bun, because I forget they even exist. And my husband always he reminds me lately. This light is really bright. Got a frog in my throat. But things change, your taste will change. I didn't like carrots before I started the diet. Now I love carrots. I didn't like a lot of vegetables probably, but now I try to eat vegetables as often as possible. I eat a lot of salads. You can't do that at first on this diet, or they have to be, prepared a certain way because of your raw digestive tract. But anyway, now as long as I'm on this diet, 95 to 100%, I can have my salads. And all of that. I can digest food, salads, vegetables, and all these healthy things. But you know what? I'm not, even though it's a strict quote-unquote diet, I don't feel really restricted. It requires a lot of my time to cook the foods I want, but I can eat donuts and cookies and cake and all of that. I can't make it with white flour or order it at a restaurant currently. But at home, I use, like I said, the coconut flour and everything. And you can try recipes until you find what you like. And there are plenty of tried and true bloggers now who have amazing recipes. So some of my favorites are like againstallgrain.com. And then I post recipes to my website, foodlovefitness.com. And there are places starting to sell food that we can have, like quicker, more convenient food. Me and my husband just opened a company called Bryant Foods. We're selling right now cookies, waffles, and raisin bread. And it's SCD. The cookies aren't SCD, but we will have some SCD cookies soon. They're healthy, though. They're made from flax and almond and coconut. But flax is one of those things that I can't have. But, I don't know what else to say. Because of all this, I I found a love for nutrition that I never knew existed. Found a ability to absorb that information. This health change changed my mind from wanting to be a veterinarian to wanting to go into the human medical field, and now I'm in PT school. You know, it's made me realize how important it is to be resilient and to be a self-advocate and an active patient. The slide is so bright. So anyway, I never would have had a company. I never would have changed my diet. I'd be unhealthy for other reasons. Be on medications for other reasons. I'd be taking unnecessary drugs and things for other reasons. And, of course, everything that goes along with Crohn's. But, hey, 7 years of health, and I hope it keeps going. I don't know what else to say, but I'm very grateful for this diet, for Elaine. Very grateful for my health and for discovering my passion in nutrition, for getting into physical therapy school, for having that opportunity to help other patients, to get this information out into the world, all this technology like this video right now that allows me to do that. Anyway, I hope this can help you or someone close to you, and maybe you can send people, you know, this video, or get them to message me if they have IBD. Sometimes it's hard to take information too from people who don't know what it's like. So I love answering questions, you know, from anyone. On Facebook and such. We have Facebook pages, Food Love Fitness, Bryant Foods. Those are Instagram pages too. Anyway, you can contact me in a number of ways. My email is alyssadavis@foodlovefitness.com and admin@bryantfoods.com. Anyway, I hope this helps someone, and I'm gonna go make some donuts and some peach cobbler and to celebrate. I want to start selling peach or cobbler mix, and I'm still experimenting. I hope this one's a success, and I hope these donuts are pretty good. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.